Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find legal encyclopedia articles on Westlaw. So here I am at the Westlaw search screen, what we might call the splash page. And since we know where we're going, we're looking for legal encyclopedia articles. I'm going to use our content type options. I'm going to go to secondary sources. And then I'm going to search by type for jurisprudence and encyclopedias. This will give me a to Z list where I can select several titles into my search. And at this point, I would just like to do 2, American Jurisprudence Second and Corpus Juris Secundum. Once I've selected those items, I can then put in my search, First Amendment and school and substantial disruption. I'll then click on my search button and it will go through, the system will go through and identify all of the terms that I'm searching for and will match them up to the terms in the encyclopedia articles. And here I have 17 results from 2 sources, AmJur and CJS. And they're interspersed, so you kind of have to pay attention to where you are in the results list. So there are some very promising looking results. The one that I think is probably going to be a good place to start is number 3, students' right of free speech and expression. This article talks about the protections that are afforded to students while they're in attendance at school and what happens with prohibited speech. The article will give you some good background, and it will also cite to primary materials. So if you look at this footnote and just hover over it, it will give you certain primary sources, case law usually, that may apply to your situation. You can also take a look at how this article fits in with the other areas of the topics and subtopics within the encyclopedia itself. And to do that, you would want to look here over at the left for the table of contents. And here we are where this kind of black line is, students' right of free speech and expression. And there are some other sections that may be of interest to you. For instance, the speech outside school, school-sponsored speech, viewpoint discrimination, etc. So this is a good first go. If you want to get back to your results, just click on this arrow, it says return to list. And you'll get back to your results and you can explore a little further. There are different topics that are at play. So very often you're going to find many things within one topic. So in this instance, Corpus Juris Secundum schools is what we clicked on. There are other subtopics also within that larger area that you probably saw. So students' right of free speech and expression, display of the Confederate flag. There's also other topics that are related, very, very distinctly related. So this is CJS, constitutional law. And it says generally. Sometimes that's a really good place to start. Anything that is really broad that tries to frame the topic can be really helpful to you. So if we take a look at this section, it will explain about public educational institutions and how the freedom of speech applies in those environments. So I would suggest spending some time with the legal encyclopedias. In this instance, you only have 17 results. You can go through, play around with them, take a look at each individual result, and then take a look at the subsections around the section that you're looking for using the table of contents. For instance, we have our generally here, but if you look further down, there's a section for teachers, which really doesn't apply to us, but there's a section here for students, which does. So if we click on section 762, you're going to get some pretty good on-point material. So students in school as well as out of school are persons under the federal constitution and are possessed of fundamental constitutional rights. Again, hovering over your footnote, it refers you to 3 major cases. The first is Tinker versus Des Moines Independent Community School, which is a Supreme Court case. The next is a California case, Myers versus Arcata Union High School District. And the third is a case out of Idaho. If you take a look at your hierarchy of authority, if you're in South Carolina, which of these cases probably is going to have the most appeal? Certainly one that is mandatory authority, and that would be the U.S. Supreme Court case. So you might want to take a look at that case in more depth. So that is a really quick way of determining some useful legal encyclopedia articles. I hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions, please give me an email. Thank you so much.